Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club. Kenworth Trucks Australia and Pace Farm Eggs.
G'day, I'm Fletch and welcome as I bring you to a suburb east of Melbourne in Victoria, where you're about to see an eclectic gathering of things automotive. In this week's Classic Restos, on the road. Beside me here's half a Falcon. Don't know where the other half is, but it doesn't matter. It was pulled out of the swamp. And this is in the front yard. Well, not the swamp, the Falcon. Anyway, before we see some more things today, here's a little bit about the owner.
Time to meet Bob Parker. Interested in cars from an early teenager, he even owned a wrecking yard later in life, a sales rep after that for around 30 years, and these days Bob is even more busy trying to fit in retirement. This is where years of collecting bits and pieces are now on show. The air of neatness adorns the space with predominantly a Ford passion on the brew at heart, but a love across the big three here in Australia is proudly welcomed. And Bob just loves things automotive, as we can appreciate. There's a bit to see here today, a couple of peanut butter sandwiches, and we're good to go. But before you see the main shed, there's an entree first.
Welcome to Bob's Bunnings, Fletch. This all started from the neighbours coming up. Bob, have you got a bit of wood? Have you got a bit of this? Yeah, I've got that. Come and have a look. So that's how that sort of happened. Got the old, for when I'm doing my dirty work, the old bench grinder here, so all the sparks and roughage goes on the ground and not inside the clean shed. I recently, helping out a guy, he had a whole lot of Holden parts, dare I say. So there's a bottom panel, a couple of grills here. In the collection, I'm about to clean this up. I found a very good original front bench seat out of an early Holden. I think it's a HD or a HR. Here you have some pulleys here, the old rope pulleys they used to have in the old barns, lifting hay bales out of trucks and things like that. Several different ones there, varieties, shapes and sizes. Now, the Bob's punning part here, we've got some timber, you know, this stick here. I'm going to use that one day, so I kept it. These are interesting. It's 3 pieces of Oregon. They'll come out of my father's workbench in his garage, so I thought they'd polish up to make a good picnic table or barbecue area table one day. An early door, it's out of a custom line. Can't throw things out, you know, you never know it's going to be good for somebody. And come along here, this is what I call my steel stock. I'm always manufacturing, fabricating, even the neighbours will come up, Bob, you got a bit of steel, you got this, whatever. Yeah, so that's my steel stock area. Here we go here, we end up with actual scrap, so I'll save that all up, go to the scrappers and cash it in, get enough for a couple of cans of bourbon or something like that. Garden nut, I love it because you don't have to water it, you don't have to feed it with food, things like that. Just an eclectic old rusty wheels, A model Ford. That would be a diff assembly out of an early Ford, probably a 37, 38 type vintage. Fletch, this is my next shed. Watch the step going in. It's actually my workshop where I do all my cutting and grinding, fabrication, all my spanners, bits and pieces. I've got my grinder over here and the drill press, which is pretty sentimental every time I use it because it was my father's. I've got the slide out drawers, so it's got all my bits and pieces, anything that I want to go for tool wise. This one here we go, we got full of, well, we got carburetors here, we got gear lever linkages and generators, alternators. Up here I've got all my storage boxes. We've got all the nuts and bolts sorted out and different bits and pieces. brackets. Over here we've got some early model radios. This here I use continuously. A bit of it's my anvil, just an old bit of railway line, put it on a bracket and bending, fabricating. Come along here looking for some more tools or bits and pieces, paints. We've got some saws, we've got some drills. The trusty old safety gear with the ear muffs and the safety goggles. Once again, some more tools, electrical drills and handle beating tools. If I want some household door locks or something like that, I can go for that for running repairs in the house. Here we come to my early Ford collection of bits and pieces. There's some good stuff in here. Early Ford chrome stainless steels off a ute. We have radiator overflow tanks. There's all sorts of gear in here. Some early Ford, we've got manifolds, the good old early Falcon wire headlight protectors. We come to some quite good old stuff here. This would have been early side valve Ford, probably 48 vintage, all in that area there. You've got some side valve heads and a nice air vent. Yeah, that's off an F100, 48 to 56 Ford F100. Early vintage steering wheel. Bit hard to see, Fletchy, but you probably see through there some vintage wheels, Bathurst Globes off Ford Falcons, those two sets there. We've got the old 6-inch steely rims, you know, they would have been the old GS round ones and the hubcap type models. There's actually a T-bar shifter off an early Falcon. There's nuts and bolts and nails and there's all sorts of bits and pieces in here. I've got some old, there's a go, a dual twin deck cassette radio. I'm not a MIG and TIG guy, I'm an old stick welder. Here's my traditional arc weld, which I bought. I probably bought that back in about 1976. Here we've got some good old Ford stock. This would be going into your Ford engine department. Either it'd be Windsors, Cleveland V8s, probably your XR, XY, XA, XBC sort of stock. This is off a 1914, or went up to about 1920, a Saxon motor engine. From the UK. It was in garden art, it was seized, I've managed to free it up and got it turning over. Moving right along here, I've still got boxes from when I moved here that I haven't even unpacked yet. A lot of them belong to my father and different friends and bits and pieces, so one day I'll probably get out of them and unpack them and find what sort of goodies I packed up 6 or 7, 10 years ago. The good old trusty 9-inch Falcon diff, which you find in many, many classic cars and hot rods and stuff. That's ready to be restored. That's the actual 9-inch diff centre out of that diff housing, which I'm in the process of rebuilding. Now here's the mini anvil, which I've got to put on a stand and a bracket. And that's the end of Shed 2.
So what's going on with this one, Bob?
Fletch, this is a girlfriend that I've manufactured, if you like. Great, I can sit down, have lunch with her, sit down, have a nice drink at the table. She doesn't answer back. Very well, we're treated by her.
Oh, well, she's harmless.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
If you own a classic or two, maybe some treasured memorabilia, make sure it's insured with Shannons. Why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote and a chat on 134646. And keep in mind too that the Shannons Club has never been easier to become a member. For more information, visit shannons.com.au and access Australia's largest automotive online hub.
You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au.
In 2025, why not consider a tour of Detroit, Michigan, USA with Fletch? Detroit, it's the Motown City, the automotive epicenter. Each day is wow, wow, and more wow. Imagine experiencing where automotive history on a grand scale began. Stay in fine accommodation, taking in some of the best museums and private car collections on the planet. Book your exclusive 2025 Detroit tour with Fletch. Enquiries at DetroitClassicTours.com.
Right, are we out of the sheds? What's going on here, Bob?
This is my garden, Fletch, and
Yep.
this is for tinea.
Oh, well, thank goodness my feet are in good condition. All right, Bob, what's going on here?
Now, Fletch, this is the main shed. Get ready.
Oh, wow.
This is Bob's place. This is a lovely place, Bob.
Thanks, mate. I've been waiting for ages and ages to show you this place. I really have.
Look, it's my pleasure. A 9-hour drive, just a little bit down the road to come and feature this bloke. You've done some great additions over the years, here and there from what I've heard, starting out with just bits and pieces. This shed hasn't been here all that long, right?
Probably 8 years old now, this shed.
Oh, 8 years.
Yeah, something like that. But it's taken me about 60 years to get here.
Looking around and filming around here, Bob, looking at the memorabilia and everything you've got here, it doesn't necessarily have to be automotive all the time because the bits and pieces relate to the period of the vehicles as well. It takes us back to that time.
Yeah, it is the period, I agree. It's an eclectic collection, if you like. Not necessarily for cars, but cars, rock and roll, 50s, 60s has been the sort of theme.
And did you ever think once upon a time that your retired life would encompass such a premise with all these bits and pieces in it?
Had no idea. Never knew it'd go this far. I'm still unpacking boxes that I've packed up when we moved here probably 10 years ago.
And the bits and pieces out the back we saw earlier there in shed number 1, and that's where you do your work out there, and that's a separate section. And in here, this is wonderful. I love the cars up there on the hoist. First of all, tell us a little bit about the red Falcon up there. What's its story?
The Red Falcon, it's an XL. It's a very good mate of mine. We go back to the 70s. He's my mechanic, built my race engines.
You go back to the 70s?
Yeah, well, that's when we first met.
How do you do that?
With the DeLorean, I think it is, isn't it? No, he's a very good mate of mine. He's got a small house and he's building that for his son. Had a storage issue problem, so I've helped him store it out here for a while.
The hot rod here, Bob, what's the story there?
That's I've had hot rods many, many years ago, sold them, did the family thing and jobs, and I've always wanted to get back into a hot rod. I've had a couple of nice Falcons over the years. I was never ever going to build one again because I couldn't afford one, and the time factor. I was looking for what I call a turnkey hot rod. Looked at about 20 over a period of 12 months, about 3 years ago. Knew what I wanted. Didn't want a Chev and a hot rod. Wanted a Ford running gear. This car came up for sale. Met the guy.
That's a bit rare, Bob, isn't it? Having a Ford V8 and a hot rod, isn't it?
It is actually, yeah. All Ford running gear. He built it 21 years ago. Solid build, turnkey. Hadn't missed a beat. Just a lovely, lovely car. The price was right, so I stepped into it.
Good on you. Give us a rundown on the engine specs there.
It'd be a blueprinted 351 Cleveland, C6 auto, 9-inch, disc brake front, traditional old-style hot rod running gear.
I like the way it looks. It's got just enough rake on the car. It looks good, doesn't it?
That's why I bought it. It's a traditional built old stance hot rod. I just love it to bits, It's got a carby, so if it stops I can maybe fix it, and it's got electronic distributor, and the rest of it's stock standard. And
like you say, if it does stop, it's not an expensive fix.
Exactly right. And there's half a chance this old bloke here can sort of sort it out.
And the other half a chance is you can just hope for the best.
No, don't have it. It's a Ford.
Back in 1965, the 70,000-mile Ford durability test with the XP Falcon. A replica car here, Bob.
It sure is, yes. A bit of a story to it. Started off as a bit of a basket case when I bought it. I've since converted it to a V8 conversion, a little Windsor engine, etc., etc. But I was going to just do it flat black as a rat rod type car. Yeah. Then I found out about the durability run, which I'd not known about. And it was to do 70,000 miles for 8 days, averaging 70 miles an hour at the Yang's Ford Proving Grounds. So I had a brochure about it, but unfortunately they were black and white photographs. So I thought I will do flat black, and I'll get the durability stickers made up. I had it for about 3, 4, 5 weeks finished like this. Went to a car show, Murphy's Law, couple of old fellas come up, said, I remember this run. I've got some colour photographs of Alan Moffat and Freddie Gibson driving it. It was red. If I had known it was a red car, I would have done it red, but I wasn't.
That's all right. Look, it was a handful of Falcons that participated in this durability test. I think it was amazing because it was to overshadow the first Falcons that came out here or in Australia with their flimsy front ends, and they just weren't strong enough for Australian conditions. And if you've ever driven around the United States, you can see why, because most of their roads over there, well, put it this way, they're more smooth than they are rough, especially when you look at the highways, the turnpikes and what have you. So this poor Falcon came out here once upon a time and copped a bit of a hard time. By the time they got through to 65 with the XP, they'd really perfected that, well, first shape, if you will. So, and I think that test, that durability test, was really that was to shock the public, or to, well, not so much shock them, I suppose, but just to let them know, hey, we mean business and we finally do have a fantastic car.
You've got that right on there, Fletch, but there's a bit more to the story too, is the EH was out, and the HD was coming out, and the EH was selling, which the Holden EH, dare I say, was selling in big numbers. So Ford had to do a fight back.
It's amazing when we look at that, though, isn't it? It didn't matter how good the S Valiant was. It didn't matter how good the Falcon was. They didn't get within cooee of the Holden sales, did they?
They didn't. So Ford fought back. And because they knew they were having the XRXT new shape model coming up, which they got pretty right, but this was the test bed, if you like, on these early Falcons.
What have we got?
Oh, that's a steel helmet. Probably goes back to definitely World War II, I'm guessing, maybe World War One. Not 100%.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure at the moment.
What's that?
Civil defence.
What about the gate?
The gate.
Yeah, well, you got defence.
Yeah.
Like Dad, I've always been a Ford man. The Falcon Squire wagon was unloved in 1964, but turns heads today. The Americans call them woodies, but the panelling, it's just fiberglass and plastic. But it's a passion that Shannons understands, which is why my Fords are insured with Shannons. And now, so's the home.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
Your story began in 1971. It's part of an endless tapestry that tells the story of our nation. It connects innovators to artisans, forests to houses, from the largest of operations to the smallest of outcomes. It's heritage. It's a legacy.
Moving along as we do, and Bob's holding up the front of this gorgeous 1974 Fairlane Custom, and it's rare. And the reason it's rare is because of its simplicity. We've got a 250 six-cylinder under the hood. We've got a column automatic. With Fairlanes, it was usually a 302 or a 351. This is like the entry level into the Fairlane, right?
The real budget custom model, you know.
Crank handles for the windows.
Yeah, nothing special. It's a six-seater, column auto, Borg Warner, tin plate Borg Warner diff.
But it would still ride beautifully. Obviously the Fairlane wheelbase, which same or shared with the station wagons.
Lovely. Just rides like a limousine. It really does.
In good condition, but where did you find it?
Sort of came to me. I got wind of it and had a look of it. It's virtually...
I know you got wind, but how did you find the car?
No, I saw it all advertised on it was actually a swap meet sale. Went and investigated, looked at it and said, yeah, I like this. Went back second, third, fourth time, and it turns out it's virtually a one-owner car. Came out of a country area, and and it's just a good original example.
The person that bought this car originally, he had a little bit more money than just a standard Falcon price. Maybe he could have afforded a Fairmont, but hey, you could have got a 6-cylinder Fairlane and got that extra long car and the different grille, the different front clip, which to me is, it's a beautiful shape. Of course, carried over from the XA.
Very, very, very simplistic car. A budget model, you got the big long wheelbase car. It drives like an armchair vehicle, if you like. They're very rare. I've been guilty of it in the past. A lot of these cars, we got them in, we convert them to V8 because everybody wanted a V8, you know.
This has been left alone.
Been left alone. It's probably why I got it, because the guy advertising it, he told me, I've been trying to sell it, the phone to ring, is it a V8? No, clunk. But I reckon it's going to be quite a future collectible car.
I think it's the sort of car now in 2025 where you wouldn't put a V8 in it. I think you're doing the right thing. If this was 15 years ago, of course you'd throw a Cleveland in it. But I don't know about now. I think it's the purist side of it cuts in, I think, now.
You're 100% correct. I'm not touching it. I'm just going to maintain it, leave it as it is. Not even tempted to put a V8 into it, you know. Not at all.
Well, I want to give you credit here because I can't quite remember the last time I saw a 6-cylinder Fairlane. It's really nice to see an example like this, just in its natural habitat, that it's been left alone. And yeah, it's really refreshing to see that.
I was very surprised. That's what was taking me to the car. And I haven't told you, there's no rust in it, Fletch. There's not 1 ounce of rust anywhere. I kid you not.
Guess what you just told me?
I have too, haven't I?
It's got no rust.
It's amazing. Yeah, it is.
Rust-free car.
Because these model Falcons are renowned for rusting, especially the bottom of the doors.
The little gussets inside, they're little traps they made inside. And yeah, it's that's a little sad. Obviously, this car here would have been, well, garaged all its life. Hasn't done a lot of work.
The history that I know of it, I haven't got the total history yet, but it has been a garage car all its life. That's why it survived.
I tell you what you have been doing hard at. That top row up there, Bob, is that all you're doing? All that work up on that top shelf?
There's a story to the Jim Beam bottle collection up the top shelf. People say, oh, I've got a bottle, bring it around. I said, no, it had to be drunk on these premises to go on the shelf. So I've done a pretty good job, haven't I?
Been under the affluence of alcohol.
Had a help from a few nice friends over the years, so yeah.
It's a wonder if after drinking all that you knew who your friends were.
Who? What are you?
Exactly.
What are you doing here?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Here we go, just for the fun of it, a 1985 XF Falcon. Why is it special? 195,000 genuine Ks, Bob.
Yes, that is, yeah.
4-speed car.
Factory 4-speed, bucket seats, roof lining all the way through, and a bit of a rare option, it's got the tailgates up and down instead of the old barn doors.
Yeah, the 2 vertical doors. It's on the episode because it's just so clean, and these are starting to get rare. I know you probably think it's an XF Falcon, but hey, look, you know, possibly the classic. Well, it's a late model classic in my opinion.
It's a classic already because every time I take it to a car show or a swap meet or something, is the van for sale, Bob? Is the van for sale? No way, mate.
I remember when these came out brand new, and a whole lot of you do, and when they came out, they were a beautiful car to drive. Clutch fan, whisper quiet. They were a nice, smooth car. Sales rep specials. I kicked off my days as a sales rep in brand new XF Falcon, so a bit of a soft spot there. And I'm not just talking about driving these things around town. I had a whole state to look after and did it all in Falcons, and they did a wonderful job.
They're good. They're tough as nails. They really cruise. This car here is so tight, still tight, just drives, well, like a 1985 Falcon, does it? Really, one arm on the steering wheel and you're away, you know.
A lot of room in the back, and they're high, very tall.
They are, yeah. High roof clearance, you know. You can get dressed in the back of one of these too.
Get dressed.
Don't know about undressed, but you get dressed.
Anyway, on that note, hey, Bob, look, it's been a great day here today, and worth the drive to come and see you. And I know you've put many years into this. This is inspiration. Again, I like my episodes to do this, to inspire you. If you haven't got a man cave, but one's coming up, it inspires you. If you've already got a current man cave, it can help you appreciate what you have more. And there's no limit to the imagination, is there, Bob? You can keep adding to them.
You're right there, 100% correct. I've worked a long time to get this, long and hard. I've got what I want. I enjoy it. I really, really love showing it off to people. We have different car clubs come around and visitors and family, and my thrill is for people to come around and go, ooh, wow, ooh, wow.
Bob, what a fantastic opportunity, well worth the drive to come and see you. You've been here for years. I can see the amount of effort that you put into this. Mate, again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Fletch. Very, very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome, mate. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Fletch, again, mate.
Well, that's it. Time's up, and that is a wrap. You have seen just some of the hidden Ford cave belonging to Bob Parker on this week's show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch. Thanks for watching.
Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up to become a member of the Shannons Club. Kenworth Trucks Australia and Pace Farm Eggs.